What is up, guys? What's up? What is happening? Or as they say in Seattle these days, what's cracking? This is the next episode of the next show with your boy, D Midas, Heavy D, Delicio, whatever you're going to call it. Just make sure you call it right. So, on this week's show, I want to get to matters of discussion regarding my Toronto Blue Jays and how their season is going so far. Not great. Spoiler alert. So we'll get into a bit of that. Some of my boys have talking to me on this show, to speak on what's going on with Jamal Adams being a New York Football Jets fan. So I'll touch on that a little bit. The big trade that went down with the Seattle Seahawks, of course. And I'm going to debut a new segment, and I'm going to call it Mr. Nice Guy. Mr. Nice Guy. So I've seen all the games to date of exhibition play for the NHL's return to play from the COVID after effects. So I witnessed all the games that happened, and I'll talk about those, and I will mention one nice thing that each team did for the games that I saw, that I witnessed. So we'll get into that. That's all coming up right here on the show. So, first thing, as I mentioned, I want to talk about is the Blue Jay season so far. So far, as of the end of July 30th, they are 3-4. So not great. I said in past shows if they had gone something like 7-3 or 6-4, they'd be in a good spot. Start out with the bats hot, pitching fire. So far, that hasn't happened, and actually, some of it is actually due to Montoya, whatever his name is, the manager. I mean, just making some weird and bad decisions in the ball game that's costing this team games. So I don't know what he's thinking. Maybe he has to, have another film session or something, or I don't know. But he needs to get his head right, make some smart decisions, help this team out, make sure that they're in a position to win, and everything should, just be up from there. Um, that's what I think about the Blue Jays. I mean, I could talk about all the positive things, but 3-4 when there's only 60 games to be played, I mean that's really pathetic for a franchise that keeps telling us that we're trying to contend, but we're also trying to home grow all these young kids at the same time. And I mean, Vladdy, I mean, there's been talk. I know the guy's 6'2", but he's 21 coming into camp at 280, close to 300. There's no way that should be happening. This guy should be fit as a fiddle. Okay, and I know again he's a big guy, but his pops was a big guy too. But his pops was lean. If you go back and see footage, like Vlad Jr. is so much bigger. Oh man, no, this guy should have been in tip top shape. You can definitely tell he was grazing on something when they had the downtime, man. I mean, holy. Let's hope these young kids get it together and, Vlad Jr. can get himself into a good game shape. I love the guy. You guys know I love him because he's a fellow Dominican countryman of mine. But, I mean, man, if you're not crushing bombs, you won't be able to run the bags or anything. How are you going to be able to steal a base or two to help your team out once in a while? I don't know, man. So, Blue Jays, 3-4. I'm expecting them to be mediocre all year. They might surprise me, but I just don't think there's enough there. There's enough talent there to propel them. And the kids will come along, but they're not there yet. And it's going to be a while before they get there. So for now, let them learn, let them get their reps, and they'll be mediocre. So that's just it. Moving on to what happened between the Seattle Seahawks and my New York Football Jets, trading all-pro safety Jamal Adams to Seattle for a couple of first-round picks. I believe there's a third and fourth mixed in there or something like that. So, if you guys want my reaction on that, being, a big-time New York Football Jets fan, my reaction is I'm glad we got the first-round picks, but it's Seattle. with an all-pro safety to complement the defenses that Pete Carroll, puts out there. I think that's going to propel them and put them over the top. They've obviously seen the kind of competition they're going to have in the NFC with Brady going over there and everything. So they're loading up and they're taking a chance. And they don't really seem to care about the picks because they think they've got themselves a winner built, and they're just trying to show up the defense. They don't want to leave Russell Wilson hanging out to dry yet again. So that's why they paid him, because he brought a Super Bowl there, and you all been leaving him hanging out to dry with just bad defenses. So you get an All-Pro safety in Adams. You're not afraid to give up those picks. Because he gives you a legitimate chance to win. When he's out there playing defense on the field, he's a ball hog. He's athletic. And he complements their defense very well, very well. So it's no surprise, why they rolled the dice and they went out and got him. So kudos to Seattle, and we'll see what happens with those 2 first-round picks that the New York Jets got. Maybe they can draft somebody good, but maybe they can parlay him into some kind of free agent, sign a trade, something like that. So hopefully that's what it works out to. Sam Darnold looks like he's ready to go. I'm not really sure about the receiving help that he's got just yet. And how's that defense going to look now, without your all-pro safety back there, to calm everything down. So we'll see how all that plays out. I'm excited for the season, and hopefully it begins on time. I'm excited. Now, other thing that I wanted to mention, and this being the last thing, because I might be short on time going through this here, but the segment that I'm going to call Mr. Nice Guy. So I just finished watching all of the exhibition play from this past couple days in the NHL hubs of Edmonton and Toronto. And what I witnessed is some nice things, some bad things, some ugly things. But Mr. Nice Guy is here to tell you all about the nice things that he saw for every team. So here we go. Vancouver, Winnipeg. Vancouver, I'll start with you. The forecheck and speed. Nice. Winnipeg, Hellebuck. Connor Hellebuck, he's looking like a Vezina Trophy finalist. He made some very good saves, some dandy saves, and some easy saves. So very nice, Connor. Even though they lost, I am going to say one nice thing about the Pittsburgh Penguins, and that is that they show that the power play still works and that they still know what they're doing on it and that it can be deadly. So don't try to take too many penalties against Pittsburgh, or they will burn you. So that is a nice thing to have for Pittsburgh. Toronto, Montreal. This was quite an interesting matchup. A couple of storied franchises. Bitter rivals. Everybody always says, one team sucks, the other team sucks. Oh man, I see it all the time in the forums and chats. Oh man, Leafs and Habs fans, they just go at it. But I do have one nice thing to say about each team, even though I don't really care for either one. This is my show, and I'm a Flyers fan. I'm just going to be honest with it and own that. But I do have one nice thing to say, Toronto, and that is that this whole east portion of the tournament is taking place in your home barn. So you should probably take good advantage of that and make sure that you're doing everything as far as, pro scouting, making sure that everybody's there at the game to scout your opponent properly. You're going to have that advantage. They're going to be using your arena, your facilities, so you will have the ability basically to see what sort of things are happening with their team. Be able to pull some sort of Bill Belichick type of trickery as far as seeing what lineup combinations and everything some of these teams that you're playing against might have. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But also, again, you're at home, so there's the home cooking. There's the advantage of having your friends and family closer. There's no distraction of traveling. There's more familiarity with the place that other players might not have or be confused about. So again, use that to your advantage. That's one nice thing to have. Montreal wasn't a great game against Toronto, I must say, from what I saw. But one nice thing I can say is that once you're finally out, you will have a crack at the first overall lottery pick. So that's a nice thing to have. Moving on. Islanders, Rangers. Islanders, nice thing I saw. Structured, sound hockey, a Barry Trotz coach team. Definitely, for sure. I saw that. That is a very nice thing. Rangers. Well, a very nice thing I can say from the game against the Islanders that you only gave up 2 goals. So that's very good. That's a one nice thing because if you only give up 2 goals in an NHL playoff series, chances are, you should win a few of those games if you're holding your team to 2 goals or less. So you lost, but you only gave up 2 goals. That's a nice thing. Chicago, St. Louis. Now, Chicago. I can honestly say, no joke, that Chicago's determination was definitely on display. A lot of people had these guys written off, especially after they got swept by Nashville a few years ago. They said, "Oh, they're done." Taves and Keith and Seabrook, and they're all done. They said they're all done. They're playing a lot of hockey. They're all getting old. Forget it, blow it up. But they didn't. They brought back Saad even. They made a few trades. They drafted Kirby Doc, who's a big right-handed centerman, which are very coveted. And the guy's got hands. He's not just a big guy with rock hands. The guy can definitely play, and he can set up some plays with his big body. Push some guys out of the way for Patrick Kane to do his thing. Why not? So Chicago, the determination, but the skill was a very nice thing that I saw out there for you guys. St. Louis, you lost the game against Chicago, but one nice thing that I saw for you guys is that you're still the champs. And until somebody dethrones you, you can still call yourselves the champs. So even though you lost, it was only an exhibition game, and now you're about to play in the qualifiers or round robin, I believe, whatever, depending on what seeding there are. But yeah, you're about to play actual meaningful games, and maybe you can come up with a victory in one of those. So that's one nice thing. You're still the champs. That's nice. Now moving on to the Carolina Washington game. Washington, you know, the Russians are definitely ready to go. Orlov, Kuzi, Ovechkin, especially. Those guys were on full display, and it's going to be hard to contain them if they get going. Onoshi's still there. Eller, they have a lot of pieces still from that cup-winning team. So, they're going to be rearing to go. They've had some rest just like everybody else, so they want to prove, that them winning the cup wasn't just a fluke, and they can try and get another one in the Ovechkin era. So, Russians, they look good, ready to go. So that's a very nice thing for you, Washington. Carolina, the one nice thing that I can say that I saw in your game, even though you lost to Washington, was you scored a 5-on-3 power play goal. So that's nice. It's nice to know that your 5-on-3 power play is able to click, and Sebastian Aho has a lot of room to dangle and can dish it to Teravainen for one timer or whoever he wants to. It's nice when you get a 5-on-3 power play and you score on it. So kudos to you. That was a nice thing for you. Now, the Colorado and Minnesota game. Now, Colorado, the one nice thing I can say for you guys is the big line is ready. McKinnon, Rantanen, Landeskog, they were all in on the scoring. And I imagine you're going to see whoever the team they're playing is, you're going to see a heavy dose of those guys because they look ready to go. And, they show that they're worth all the money that they're getting paid over there in Colorado. But I think with the rookie as well, Cale Makar, I think he can do a lot of good things. You might see a sort of a breakout playoff for him, so that'll be nice. But yeah, big guys ready to go in Colorado. That's a very nice thing for you guys. Minnesota, you lost the game against Colorado, but the one nice thing that I did see is that Eric Stahl, a goal and assist. So that's great to see him still going. He's a wily vet. He's a big body, but he can still skate, pass, and shoot, as we saw in that game. So if you find the right, line mates for him and the right opposition combinations, if you're a good coach, then yeah, I think he can get you some points, and he might be able to score or have a point in possibly an overtime game or anything like that if you keep it close, like those old trap wild teams used to do. Those were actually kind of entertaining teams to watch because they would. I remember when they upset the Avs one year. They would upset a lot of teams playing that trap style. So that was fun to see. So yeah, Minnesota, Eric Stahl, goal and assist. That was nice to see. So hopefully he can keep it rolling. He's a good guy. He deserves it for sure. All right. Now the Tampa Bay, Florida game. This was definitely fun to watch because I'm going to tell you something right now. The one nice thing that I want to say about Tampa Bay, and I mean this, Braden Point is a top 5 center in the NHL straight up. Y'all can say whatever you want to, but this guy is amazing and he has all the tools to get it done. It's so much fun to watch him dangle with the puck and everything, and just the moves he makes, and he's all over the place. He's ready. 2 goals and assists in that game. Very nice to have a centerman like Braden Point on your team, Tampa Bay. So I can definitely say that about you guys. Very nice to have. Florida, well, the one nice thing that I got to say about you, even though you lost the game and you lost the game handily to Tampa, is that, you're in this tournament, you have a shot at the cup, whereas in any other year, in any other situation, you probably wouldn't have been in this tournament whatsoever. So, congratulations on being here. You still have a chance to get far, but yeah, that's the only one nice thing I could say about you guys is that normally you wouldn't be in it, but you're in it this year. So that's a nice thing. Try to make the most of it. And finally, the Edmonton Calgary game. So Battle of Alberta always, always, always gets intense, no matter what the format is, even if it's a exhibition tune-up for postseason play. But the one nice thing I'm gonna say, and I think a lot of people could say nice things about this person, is 2 words: Connor McDavid. I mean, the guy always puts on a show when he's on the ice. Second goal of the game, when he just like flies down the wing, stops up in front of the goalie, does a few dekes like he's gonna pass across the ice to the other side to his teammate, and then he just puts it in 5-hole casually, not even looking at the goalie whatsoever. So there's a reason why this guy's rookie card went up for $114,000 at auction recently. Because the guy's the real deal, and he's going to get a lot of points for Edmonton. Assuming hockey is being played the same way that it used to be post COVID and such. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, Connor McDavid, very nice to have. But also, side note or honorable mention, the goalies for Edmonton are a nice thing to have. Koskinen and Mike Smith. I mean, they were making spectacular glove saves, easy saves, acrobatic saves. These guys look like they're ready. I don't know what they've been doing this off season, COVID off season, whatever you want to call it. This COVID pause. COVID break, but they look like they were dialed in, and that was definitely nice to see if you're an Edmonton fan. So, Calgary, the one nice thing I'm going to say about you guys, because you lost the game and you look tired and slow against McDavid, but the one nice thing that I did see out there was that you didn't get shut out in the Battle of Alberta. Because if you guys would have gotten shut out by Edmonton, exhibition game or not, the Edmonton fans would have been chirping like crazy after that. And they would have said, oh, you got nothing. And, thanks for taking Lucic off our hands and yada, yada, yada. They would have just laid it right thick on him if they would have got shut out. So, Calgary, you lost the game, but you didn't get shut out. So that's nice. All right, guys. So that was it. That is the conclusion of this episode of the next show. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to what I have to say. As always, guys, please make sure you're all washing your hands, hug the ones you love, and please stay tuned for the next episode. And don't forget to watch out for my NHL 20 highlight, the conclusion of the big man hat trick. So find out how he gets his 3rd goal. I guess you'll have to wait and see. Find that out. Also, hopefully I remember, but I'm gonna try and post the links for those other YouTube videos that I told you guys about, where I'm doing instructional videos for a company I used to work for, do personal training with Just Sweat Fitness Studio. Shout out to Will Parsons. But yeah, I'll post those links if you guys want to check them out. Cool. If not, that's cool too. But yeah, not my first foray into YouTube. So hopefully this goes a lot better since I'm talking about something that I'm equally as passionate about. And yeah, hopefully able to share this, and again just let y'all know something for my baby girl as well. Oh, and speaking of which, shout out to my wifey Kirsten. It was our anniversary a day or two ago, depending on when I upload this. But it was our anniversary, and I love you, babe, and I'm so glad that I was able to marry you. And I'm so glad we have a beautiful baby girl named Sophia, and she's the best, and you're the best. So, with that being said, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I will see you next time on the next show.